for coming today to honor and celebrate the life of our father, Solomon Levinson Rivera, who will forever be our such. I know. My mother, my siblings, and our families, I'm truly grateful that all of you are here today to show your love and support to our dad, who had touched so many lives in such a positive way during his 84 years on this earth. The last few days have been extremely difficult for all of us, as we weren't prepared to face such a profound loss of our beloved dad. He meant so much to so many people, and I can imagine that each one of you has their own stories to tell about our dad, whose sense of humor, compassion, integrity, vivacious energy, wisdom, and loving spirit will continue to remain in our hearts forever. He was a man who was all about family, faith, and community. My siblings and I have been blessed and fortunate enough to have been raised by our dad and mom, whose love towards one another was truly an extraordinary one. We were remembered growing up in the Philippines, where we would have regular get-togethers with friends, relatives, neighbors, and other members of the community, just to remain connected. He was actively involved at church and the political scene back home, as I recall him saying to me at one point that living a life of service to others is what makes life truly fulfilling. Our home was frequently busy and active, with people who sought advice from Dad regarding a variety of issues. Or he and Mom would welcome visiting relatives who needed a place to stay, to relax and unwind, or just simply being engaged with people and the community itself had been a rewarding experience for him. We also remembered him as a strict disciplinarian, stern and firm towards all of us. But at the same time, he was also gentle, forgiving, fun, and spontaneous. We all had fond memories of spontaneous day trips we would take on a whim just because he wanted to spend more time together. Our dad worked very hard all his life, and he always made sure that we are safe, comfortable, and happy. He was a great orator, a captivating, eloquent public speaker who commands the audience whenever he delivered his speeches. He was also an amazing storyteller. He enjoyed telling stories about history and World War II when he was growing up. His past experiences as a young seminarian, he actually studied in the seminary for 8 years, almost completing priesthood, when fate led him to our mother's path, and the rest was history. They met in 1963, and I believe at that point he realized quite immediately that he had no chance in resisting our mom's beauty and charm. They were married after 3 months of meeting each other. He loved telling stories about their dating life at the time, his past experiences as a police officer in Manila, as he would proudly claim Manila's finest, and of course, his past experiences as a well-respected lawyer. He passed his bar exam in 1968, and he has had an amazing career as a lawyer. He was such a great storyteller that no matter how many times we've heard the same stories, and I mean exactly the same stories, over and over again, he would add some other details or nuances, which made it seem like we're hearing it again from a different perspective. I believe all of us had such opportunity, one way or another, in experiencing such gift, which had made his presence so much more special, and our loss so much more profound. My dad was a devoted and committed husband to our mom. They were married for 59 years. And there was only one time when they were apart for 2 months because our dad vacationed in the US to spend time with his brothers after he retired from his job at York Region District School Board at the age of 65 years old in 2002. Mind you, it was before FaceTime and social media, so you can imagine how much they missed each other because they did almost everything together. I recall our mom saying to our dad that it's time for him to return back home, and he promptly did. They were never apart since then. Their relationship was truly one of a kind, a relationship that we continue to aspire to and emulate as best as we can. As a father, he always appreciated our uniqueness. He taught us the value and meaning of being constantly curious about things, taught us to trust in God, and look for the silver linings from difficult situations, even turning them into ways we can empower and challenge ourselves moving forward. I can imagine raising 5 children with different personalities wasn't easy, but our dad and mom managed extremely well and made it work. Our dad and mom had instilled in us a foundation of strength, courage, confidence, resilience, closeness, and love of family that we will continue to practice for the rest of our lives. He and our mom continued to work very hard upon arrival to Canada in 1987, as they remained steadfast in their commitment to provide for our family's well-being and care, for which we can be extremely and eternally grateful. Our dad was quite protective of us girls. He was quite opinionated and honest in imposing his standards and high expectations to our then boyfriends, who are now our wonderful husbands, by the way, on how to take care of us and take care of each other as equal partners. He also demonstrated and exemplified to my brothers the qualities of being a true gentleman, all of which we are so proud to say we continue to live by. One of the many life lessons our dad has instilled in all of us, his legacy of love and respect towards others. Our dad was also a fun-loving, devoted grandfather or lolo to all his grandchildren. He was so proud of all his grandchildren, never missed an opportunity to highlight each of their strengths, accomplishments, and achievements. He would immediately post on social media his comments of how proud he was with each of his grandchildren. He appreciated all their unique gifts and talents. And he also enjoyed dancing and singing karaoke whenever there were opportunities to do so, and was quite open in sharing his wisdom about life to his grandchildren, just like the wise King Solomon from the Bible. Our father was a devoted son to his parents, our late Lolo Antonio and Lola Leona, much adored and respected by his siblings, our titos and titas, as well as our extended family, his nieces and nephews, and of course, his lifelong friends. He was a cherished grandfather, Lolo to all his grandchildren. Despite his passing, our relationship and bond towards our dad will continue to endure for the rest of our lives. His memory and spirit will always be in our hearts as we continue to create meaning over our loss. And his legacy will continue to live through us, through all his grandchildren, and through all the people he has inspired in life. He will never be forgotten. We love you, Dad. Thank you for bringing us joy, love, and inspiration that we'll cherish for a lifetime. Thank you.